Hey, what's up, people? Welcome back to Let Me Find Out. Today, I'm going to be talking about a situation that happened in Brooklyn, New York.
Pocket rocket, I ain't afraid to pop it. They steady trying to ride a wave and popping. I don't feel like I could change my option, but I'm still out here getting paid. They watching, probably want me in a grade. They plotting my closest friend to see the hate. I get it, they trying to rob me for my inner peace. I got loaded glizzies for my enemies. Yeah, pocket rocket, I ain't afraid to pop it. They steady trying to ride a wave and popping. I don't feel like I could change my option, but I'm still out here getting paid. They watching, probably want me in a grade. They plotting my closest friend to see the hate.
I hope you enjoyed that. Go check out the music. Dope young kid. But back to what I was saying. This funeral home is actually, this is kind of hard to even say. This funeral home was actually storing bodies in Uhaul trucks. Yeah, 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 horrible. I have a clip that I'm going to be wrecking to. It's actually from one of the, I think it's News 4. And there's another one. We're going to stop and then I'm play another one. And I believe that's a different news station where it's people talking about the situation. Fortunately, if this was any of my family members, I would be furious about what's going on down there. But let me know what you think in the comments. Here we go.
We also have new information tonight about a terrible story unfolding in Brooklyn. As many as 100 bodies found outside of a funeral home in trucks.
Unrefrigerated trucks. Eyewitness News reporter Jim Nolan begins our coverage tonight.
He's live in the Flatlands section with the new and disturbing details. Jim?
Today, those two U-Haul trailers had been parked in front of the Andrew T. Cleckley Funeral Home for weeks. Neighbors complained about the odor coming from them. Finally today, the city and the state came in to check. Each of those two trucks contained 50 bodies waiting there, piled in there for some time. The city and state health workers who showed up at the Andrew T. Cleckley Funeral Home on Utica Avenue today came upon a disturbing scene. The two U-Haul trucks parked in front of the home held as many as 50 bodies each. Most not in caskets, but body bags and in various states of decomposing. Neighbors for days have been taking video of the bodies dragged into the unrefrigerated trucks and stacked on top of one another.
They have bodies in the vans, in body bags on top of each other, and
When you say on top of each other, on shelves or just right on top of each other?
Some on shelves and some just on top of each other.
Responding to complaints of the odor coming from the funeral parlor, the city and state stepped in today. Workers dressed head to toe in protective gear. They transferred the bodies to two refrigerated trucks provided by the city. It had all been going on a while.
I've seen bodies being carried out of here all month in body bags. And
Right out onto the street.
Right onto the street all month long. I've seen them carried out. I can't believe how many bodies came out of there. It's amazing.
This funeral home is overcapacitated with human remains, and that is true.
Dr. David Penipent is a funeral director who teaches at SUNY Canton. He was brought in by the state to help here.
He got overwhelmed with the number of remains that he had, and he didn't know what to do, and I'm here to assist him in this operation.
Eyewitness News has shown other funeral homes, this one in Queens, that also had many bodies to handle because of the COVID-19 crisis, but they were handling them in accordance with the rules and with a proper respect for the dead and their families. What the state found when it got to the Cleckley Funeral Home today, and what neighbors have been seeing for weeks, was much different.
I've seen a lot of disrespect to dead bodies.
If they would do that to my father or my mother or my sister or my child, I would go crazy.
The number of people dying from the virus is, of course, lower now, but many funeral homes across the city are still behind and still trying to catch up from the peak. Clearly, this is one still struggling with the number of bodies coming in.
And there you go. News 4 New York. Can you believe it? Can you believe it, people? COVID-19 is dropping so many people that the funeral homes can't store them anymore. This is tough times. If that's not enough to keep you home for the next few days or a few weeks, I don't know. I don't know what is. They are actually piling bodies on top of each other. Like, it's not like racks or nothing. Like, matter of fact, let's watch the next clip.
Now to the disturbing discovery out of Brooklyn, where we told you yesterday dozens of bodies stored in Uhaul trucks outside of a funeral home because they're just so overwhelmed during the pandemic. And this could be a sign of the trouble that other funeral homes in the tri-state are facing right now. I want to go to News 4's John Chandler live for us in Sunset Park. John.
Well, Natalie, that incident in the Flatlands, an extreme and Mayor de Blasio says unacceptable example of just how overrun the city's funeral homes have become. What that funeral home needed is what sits behind me right now here in Sunset Park, a refrigerated truck, this one approved by the city and sadly containing bodies of the deceased. You don't have to walk far to be reminded of how deadly coronavirus has become in New York. This corner of Sunset Park is a grim glimpse of a funeral home's reality.
I actually walk here every day to work, and it's really sad seeing all the bodies there.
Karen just lost a friend to COVID-19 last week and says that family had trouble finding a funeral home. She stands across this Brooklyn Avenue from the tent and refrigerated truck outside of Schaefer Funeral Home.
I find it very dangerous too, because it's like dead bodies. Like right now, I'm seeing one right now, and it's just very traumatizing.
This truck is properly refrigerated, checked and approved by the city. In Flatlands, Andrew Cleckley Funeral Home was cited for keeping over 50 bodies in trucks unrefrigerated. That owner isn't facing criminal charges, but was taken to task by Mayor de Blasio for not seeking help.
They don't bear any responsibility. No, they do bear responsibility. They should have figured it out.
The mayor adds there are a substantial number of refrigerated trucks available and says the Flatlands Funeral Home should have called police.
I think it's unconscionable. I just don't understand how they let this happen.
But funeral homes are overrun and under stress from an unprecedented number of deaths, says the New York Funeral Directors Association. Directors we spoke to were reluctant to turn down families in a time of need.
It is really heart-wrenching, and also I think we need to remember to be thanking the funeral home workers when we're mentioning essential workers, because they are doing a lot right now.
Now, the association adds that there are talks underway to try and get help from the state, from upstate to downstate funeral homes, specifically here in the city. I can tell you that in the hours since we've been here this afternoon, it is constant activity in the truck and tent behind me. These funeral directors under a lot of duress right now, dealing with an overwhelming amount of death. But Mayor de Blasio adding that if they do need help, the city is here to help them. They should reach out. We're live in the Sunset Park section of Brooklyn. I'm John Chandler, News 4 New York.
Wow. Funeral homes. It's not just the hospital people. It's not. Oh my goodness. This pandemic is crazy. I don't know if some of you have been noticing, but I'm actually doing this one because I see people still going out to the beaches, still going out, hanging out, and bicycling and things like that. I can't say nothing to stop you, but this is exactly why I'm showing this video, so some of you can get an idea of what's going on. If you either catch this virus or give it to somebody else that you love, you're gonna end up stacked up on in a situation like this, where it shouldn't happen, but it does happen because we never went through anything like this. I'm in the USA. That's what I'm saying. We haven't seen anything like this in a long time. Actually, on the news, they're even saying, even never. This is like record breaking. This is something we've never been through. So I think we should stay home. I've been doing the same thing. I've been staying home. I've been going outside to get groceries, but I've been having my mask on. Everything that they've been saying, I've been following for quite a while now. So if you are out there and you're just still not listening, or just don't care, or think it's some government conspiracy or something like that, just think about this situation right here. This is in New York City, Flatlands, Brooklyn. Please stay home, people.
Pocket rocket, I ain't afraid to pop it. They steady trying to ride a wave and popping. I don't feel like I could change my options, but I'm still out here getting paid. They watching, probably want me in a grade. They plotting, my closest friend just seen the hate. I get it. They tryna rob me for my inner peace. I got loaded glizzies for my enemies, yeah. Pocket rocket, I ain't afraid to pop it. They steady tryna ride a wave, I'm popping. I don't feel like I could change my sin, but I still out here getting paid. They watching, probably want me in a grave. They plotting my closest friend to see the hate.